Charla A is back now with Lexia Crawford, and thank you again so much for being here. Your energy and your confidence and your stature wasn't always like that, was it?
No, it was not.
No, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when I met you, it has been just about a year that you stepped out of a really downward spiral.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from that has arisen something you're calling the blonde fro, the blonde fro.
Right here.
Right. So
yes.
Tell me about where that came from and how we can hone in on that a little bit.
Definitely. Thank you for bringing that up, Charla. I definitely would be remiss if I did not mention the blonde fro and where that came from. So the blonde fro for me, for us, my team, is our attempt to really address some of the mental challenges and imbalances that we all find ourselves in life in general. Everything is moving so fast. Everybody's trying to accomplish this or that. And sometimes we get so deep in our heads that we can't get out. And that begins the whole spiral of anxiety and depression and other mental challenges that either you, your family, someone has suffered from. Whether we acknowledge it or not, often it's there and we know somebody who's gone through it. Well, I myself experienced my own mental challenge about a year and a half ago, working on my normal job that I've been on for 15 years. Found myself in a space of this terrible paranoia, anxiety, and it just seemed to mount and get worse and worse day by day, to the point where one day I just could not bear it anymore, and left the office, came home and told my husband, something's off here. I think I need to go in and see somebody. And keep in mind, I had had some mental challenges throughout the years, but this was the worst yet. This is the deepest down I had gotten, and so I really needed to get some help. And anyway, my doctor, long story short, fast forward, my doctor referred me. I went into an inpatient therapy facility, got the help I needed, came out of it, really realizing, okay, I'm not crazy. I just found myself in a space where I no longer belonged in an environment, on a corporate job that just wasn't a fit for me anymore. Nothing wrong with the job. It had been the same. It hadn't changed, but I had gotten off so deep on this entrepreneurial trail that it was hard for me to find myself back in that space again and really fit and really function and really be happy. And so I made the decision to resign from my position, and really found myself in a scary place but exciting place, and really knew that I had to make this entrepreneur path work. I had no choice. I had no other options to go back.
You burned a bridge.
I finally burned the bridge, and I had to
took the leap.
And I took the leap, and I had to make it work. And so that's what began this, kind of discovery of what is this that I went through? How can I prevent myself from being back in this place again? But bigger than that, how can I prevent some other people from ending up in that space?
So the blonde fro,
and that's where the blonde fro, and so this goes back to our business branding. So my husband Jeff of the J. Crawford Agency is really great about naming and branding things. So I thought
he's awesome.
He really is. Thank you, Charla. But I really wanted to name it. I wanted to give it a face, and I wanted to start to pull down and pull away those layers of stigma that we've placed on mental illness, and being able to share and reaching out and saying, I need some help here. I'm struggling. Even some of the strongest people struggle, and it's hard for strong people to reach out and say, hey, I'm drowning here. And I was drowning. And thank God I had my husband, who's been an amazing support system for me, business-wise and mentally. He can kind of see when I'm getting off and need to kind of, check back in and really address some things. And so anyway, long story short, he came up with the name The Blonde Fro, and it took on a life of its own. I started putting out my challenges. I started making these videos. He said, just let people know how you feel. Tell people what's going on with you so that they can begin to relate and see what it is.
Authenticity, to be real.
And that's where it started.
Yeah.
It was nothing but me putting out simple videos of how I was feeling this day, or how I championed through the next day, or some of the therapy and different things that I did to get myself back to being whole and feeling well. I started to share those things openly. And it did at first make a lot of my family friends uncomfortable. I lost some friends along the way. They didn't understand, they didn't get it. And that's okay.
Everybody has their path.
Absolutely. It hurt at first, but some people just didn't have the capacity to deal with that and kind of push through with me. But anyway, in that, I discovered myself and a whole lot more about myself and some of the challenges that other people deal with as well. And I really, really made a conscious effort to make this an online movement to share with the world that it is okay to say you need help. And I find it the biggest challenge with entrepreneurs because we are controlling, we are leaders, and we want to be great, and we want to be strong. And some of our brands require us to be strong all the time. But I want you to know that it's okay to take care of yourself first. And that's a lot of times what entrepreneurs do not do. They do not take care of themselves.
Truly, we're so busy being busy, and there's never, ever going to be an end to that. There's never nothing to do.
It's ongoing.
And so carving out, this is a big word for all of us.
Yeah.
Carving out, and I'll just give an example. When I was going through crazy stuff as a flight attendant, and I did one thing that I consciously did for me, and it was drinking out of a glass on the airplane while I was working instead of, it seems so small, but it was a conscious thing for me.
Self-care.
And so it's self-care, and it was really all I can remember doing at that time, raising all these kids. And
so for me as an entrepreneur, I know, as Vincent has taught us, my day is planned out from the time I get up and hit the floor till the time I go to bed. So I have to carve out that little time in the morning to sit with my thoughts and pray and meditate and give myself a chance to catch my breath before I start the day. And I just have to block everything out. No emails, no social media, no phone calls, nothing.
That is probably the most important part of everyone's day, taking time to be still and know, to hear the still small voice, and that comes from here.
Yep.
And that's critical, and I'm glad you're pointing that out.
Definitely.
Because so many of us forget that piece. We just got to get out the door and do the next thing.
And it's the most important piece.
So I know we're not going to have much time left, so I want you to be really clear on how people can find you, how we can utilize your service. And I know you've got a training coming that you're doing now called, I love the name of it, Speak and Grow Rich.
Speak and Grow Rich.
Yes.
And what that rich is to you may not be rich to me.
It may not be money.
Exactly.
Maybe.
So I'm going to make everybody, I'm promising everybody I'm going to make you a millionaire. That is not the case. Whatever that richness is to you, is it richness in family, richness in a career, business, faith, whatever it is, whatever your rich is, speak your truth. Begin to speak it out loud. Begin to share it, and everything in the universe will line up to make that richness happen in your life.
And so you're teaching people to speak. You're actually teaching people to stand up in front. At your event center, you give them a place to stand and practice and play and pretend, or actually bring people together, just their first or initial conversations, to stand on stage with someone, right? So
we are giving them a safe, constructive place. So not just safe, not just coddling, but very constructive. So again, we work with a lot of local entrepreneurs, so we try to bring all of them together to provide constructive feedback, give you a space to work out some of those kinks in your speech, in your speaking engagements, your classes, your training.
And build that confidence.
Absolutely. So we're building you at the same time.
Because it's a big fear for people.
I know, it really is. It's a huge fear, and it's a huge undertaking for some people, but we just have to start. You just have to start. You just have to go and work out the kinks as you go. They're going to be there. They're never going to go away, but you can't fix them or work them out unless you start. And you just fix it as you go. You find your way as you go. You make the adjustments as you go, but you go nonetheless.
Exactly. So just taking that first step, because where we are is all we have to take the next step from. You might as well take a bold one, bold faith, no fear, and step towards it, and enjoy the journey. But what you're doing too is surrounding the community to give the resources and
Absolutely. There's no way I could do all of this by myself. So I need a team of people. I need a community of volunteers volunteers. I need people who are willing to come in and share what they've learned. Failures, successes, all of those things make us who we are. We just want you to always, if you're failing, be failing forward. Always failing forward.
And so many of us, the harder it gets, the more we recluse ourselves, the more we step away.
Wrong.
Instead of reaching out and joining forces with someone that,
Definitely.
you know, mentorship is huge. Just accountability is huge.
Yep.
And LexiaCrawford.com, that has the umbrella over so many
Yep.
other positive entrepreneurial interests,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
You-
So all of our efforts are there in one location. You can click on there, send us your email address, we'll send you out updates. We've got several upcoming events. We want entrepreneurs especially to start thinking already for 2019. What types of branding efforts do you want to begin to map out and develop over the next couple of months? So while you've got some downtime, most companies allow you some time off for the holidays. Use that time wisely. Instead of doing a whole bunch of shopping, sit down and really think about the gift that you want to give to yourself next year.
And they can come to your studio and create, what if they started having a weekly webinar from your studio, or a weekly lunch and learn from your studio?
Yep.
And really from LexiaCrawford.com and Suite 101.
Yep.
101 Prep,
We will help you develop those classes.
theblondfro.com, and you know, we're out of time. We're out of time already. I know how fast it goes, and I'm so
Flies when you're having fun.
incredibly grateful
Oh, you're so
for you
welcome.
to come, and you and Jeff, you know, you guys are amazing
Thank you,
friends and
Charlie.
mentors to me as well. So thank you very much, and the Yes Lady with Charla A. and Lexia Crawford, we'll see you next week.
Cut.